See the person before the color, she's definitely a spring. This person's actually an autumn. And I figured out that many of you are misinterpreting I see the person before the color in color analysis. What I see with this color is that the color is lacking strength at the jawline. The focus here is on the jawline. It's very difficult for you to look at her eyes first and see everything second. Whereas on the autumn side, eyes first, everything else is second, and the fabric looks like it's tucked behind the jawline. Here, the fabric looks like it's sitting in front of the jawline. This is disconnection. Here are the two side by side. Can you see that on this side you see the person's face first and the fabric is sitting tucked behind the jawline visually, on top of like skin checks and jawline checks and things like that. This video is only looking at I see person before color discussion, because if you're looking at it only that way, you're looking at this check far too simplistic in color analysis. The focus and balance check really is about assessing what's happening at the jawline, if I was to summarize. Here's another example of this. This person is a true autumn. I find this happens so often with autumns and summers getting confused. So what's happening here is, it's all one line, and then the person's face. The face is sitting in front of the fabric, and the focus is on the eyes. Here, at the jawline, it's tucked behind the jawline. Here, on the summer side, the fabric would be sitting in front of her if it was brought up to her chin. The fabric over here is not strong enough to support her coloring. So if I was to summarize, you also need to assess if the fabric is strong enough to support someone's coloring. I covered this on myself in yesterday's video, so if you missed yesterday's video, go back to the post before this one. People often make mistakes too in lighter and softer colors being compared with darker and perhaps more rich colors, or perhaps brighter colors in some scenarios. You may see the person before the fabric here, but at the jawline there's disconnection. There's strength missing in this color to support this person. Over here at the jawline, it looks tucked behind the person's face. The face is sitting first. Here's another example of that. So the fabric is heavy at the jawline. At the jawline, it looks tucked behind. That's the goal of sort of the focus and balance check. Your eye wants to go up to the person's eyes easily, where the fabric looks like it's sitting behind the face. Perhaps I'm going to a controversial example here, but on this side, the fabric isn't strong enough to support her coloring here. Over here, it's obvious. You see the face and the fabric sits behind the chin. This is the fabric strength that is needed to support Catherine, Princess of Wales. Here's another look at that. Yeah, you might see the person before the color, but the fabric strength is not supporting the person. Over here, the fabric strength is supporting the person. Face first, everything else sitting behind the face. I hope this post makes you rethink I see the person before the color sort of thinking, because if you're only thinking that way, you're thinking too simplistic of the check, and I'm going to copy the detailed checks around focus and balance below, but if you're prioritizing that and only focusing on that in a color analysis, in my opinion, you're missing a huge component of that check, and to assess harmony and strength of color to support a person. Your only thinking is, oh, I see the person before the color check. I'm just thinking perhaps when you're comparing darker and brighter colors then, or more tangy colors against lighter and softer colors, perhaps then lighter and softer colors would always win, but the strength would be wrong for people who need, a depth of color and intensity of color who reside in those deeper and brighter palettes as an example. So I hope this helps you reinterpret the I see person before color sort of thinking. It's actually more to that. I hope this helps. Have a great day.